Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. You know me, I'm old school, I'm committed, I like doing things the same way when I start these videos or these podcasts. I start by saying, thank you. No, don't thank me. Actually, nobody has ever thanked me for these atrocities, but thank you for being willing to sit down and watch, listen. Some of you even hit the like button. You should do it more often. But you subscribe, you share, right? Because if you don't, bad person, you're a bad person. Just kidding. But I appreciate all that. I really do. And if you're listening to the audio-only versions on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, iTunes, iSoar, iSpy, iBarf, whatever it's called over there. I don't know much about Apple stuff. But if you're listening on any of those, I appreciate you also. And I thank you. And if you are listening and not watching, there's a link in the description of this video that will take you magically. All you have to do is go to my main page on my audio podcast. And there's this thing, you just push it or click it if you're on a PC or a laptop. But if you're on your phone, you just use your little finger there and you push it, and it magically transfers you right to my YouTube channel. And on my YouTube channel, there's a red subscribe button. And if you, again, just touch that or click it if you're on PC or laptop, you click that and you are now subscribed. It's like magic. Like, what kind of fuckery is this? How is that possible? Well, I'm going to get into a little bit about that today. But just the thought I had earlier that when we're growing up, we're taught to say please when we want something. And yet people don't like beggars. If you ask anybody for money, they're like, don't be a beggar. Begging is bad. But if you think about it, saying please is just the most polite way of begging. You're basically begging, but you're being very polite about it. If you're at the dinner table and you say, please pass the salt, what you're saying is, I want salt, give me salt. The same thing. You're saying the same thing, just in a very polite way. I mean, we beg to differ. We beg for forgiveness, right? We beg for mercy. And yet, if you ask for money, whoa there, mister. Don't you dare ask me for any of my money. Quit being a beggar. But we're all beggars. I tell people all the time, please like and subscribe to my channel. And basically that's begging. What I'm saying is I want you to like and subscribe to my channel. Come on, like and subscribe to my channel. Come on, do it. But saying please is just a polite form of begging. All right, that was just a thought I had. Might turn into a bit later on. I might write it down in my notebook and think about how to do that in a stand-up act. And if I do, though, it'll be on this channel, exclusively on this channel, as soon as I hit 100 subscribers. There are 50 of you now, 50, not a big number. It's not even small by YouTube standards. It's minuscule. It's so small, I'm not even a blip on the radar. I'm less than a drop of blood out of a spurting wound. You know, you got one of those horrible wounds. You hit an artery and the blood just spurting everywhere. and covering everybody. I'm less than a drop of that in the YouTube algorithm. But I appreciate it. To me, it's pretty big. Before I started this channel, I started out with only 18 people because I said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, subscribe. I did that before I even put my first video up. And 18 of you did. And thank you. But since then, we're growing a little bit by little bit by little bit, and it's an awesome thing. So again, I wanted to say thank you. People in Florida. You know, you start certain sentences and people already know what's coming up. When you hear a sentence or you read like a headline that says a man in Florida or a woman in Florida, you know nothing good is going to come after that. It's never like a man in Florida rescued a child from the jaws of an alligator in a lake. It's never that. A woman in Florida gave all her money to a homeless man and decided she didn't need it anymore. It's never that. There's two true stories. This first one involves a woman, guess where, in Florida, who tried to stuff a whole chicken from a supermarket up her yoo-ha, right up into the vaginal cavity. Did not go well for her. She obviously got caught. But I guess she was just really desperate for chicken. Gads. People always freak out when they get a little piece of undercooked chicken, but I think this is much worse. Because, undercooked chicken, you can get the salmonella, maybe the E. coli. But with this one, you might get the AIDS. You never know where that thing has been if she's willing to do that. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about people in Florida down in the Keys, down in the southern end. When the Zika virus, if you remember that, Zika was a disease that came from a certain type of mosquito, the female of the species of that type of mosquito. And they had an outbreak, even though it wasn't. It affected a lot of countries, but it didn't really affect the United States that much. But Florida had an outbreak in the Keys. Dengue fever, which is very prevalent where I live here in Cambodia. If this is your first time, I live in Cambodia. Dengue fever is big here. People already know, the worst times to go out are right after dusk and right before dawn, because that's when the certain type of mosquito and the female variety of that mosquito who needs your blood to incubate her eggs and, all that good stuff. That's when they're out in force. So you're walking around in shorts and flip-flops, right after dawn or right after dusk. And they're out in force. You can get bit and not even realize it, not even be aware of it. But dengue fever left untreated, or in certain cases, if you have other medical conditions, could kill you. So it's a deadly disease. But Florida had a case of dengue fever also in the not too recent or not too far past, So scientists, my boys and girls, the scientists, the people who figure things out so we don't have to, the people who discovered, how the earth was formed and how we're getting along with that, they came up with an idea. Genetically modified mosquitoes. They bred mosquitoes. They modified them genetically, thus the genetically modified. And what they're going to do is release these mosquitoes in the Keys in Florida. Something like 26 billion of them, and I know that sounds like a lot, but it's not all at once. They're doing it in waves between 2021 and 2022 in different areas. But the whole thing is, they have like a kill switch in their genetics. I'm not really sure how to describe it because I'm not a scientist. But the article is very fascinating. What these male mosquitoes will do is mate with the type of female mosquito that carries the dengue fever and can carry the Zika virus. And when they mate with them, it injects their killer DNA and it kills out the female like within hours or even a day. And they figure by releasing all these genetically modified mosquitoes, they could reduce the population of the disease-carrying variety by up to 95%, which is freaking huge, right? Protecting your family, protecting your kids on the playground and walking to school, coming home from school, right? Good thing. Science is amazing that way. I mean, just think about it, man. These male mosquitoes have a death fuck gene implanted in them. How cool is that? They have a death fuck gene. They mate with the female, they inject their death fuck. She receives it, and everybody dies within a day. That is pretty awesome if you ask me. And by the way, Death Fuck Gene would be the great name of a punk band. Feel free to use it if you want to, and we'll talk about the royalties later if you do. Copyright 2021, laughing on the inside. But, and everybody thought, and I thought, oh, good idea. But no, not the people in Florida. They are up in arms, and up in legs, and up in jizz, or up in whatever, vaginal disposal overflow. Whatever they're up into, they are. They are against it so much that they went to change.org, the petition place, and received over 250,000 signatures saying, stop this. And the whole thing about that petition was that they're just throwing things out there that aren't based on science. They heard about the genetically modified mosquitoes, and now they're calling it like the Franken mosquito, and they're thinking all these horrible thoughts from science fiction movies. They're thinking about Jurassic Park, and they're thinking about, old 50s movies, like we're experimenting with these bugs, and all of a sudden giant ants and giant spiders, and causes chaos, the world's out of control, people die. Well, they can't seem to separate fact from fiction down there in the good old Florida. But they're against it, and here's the reason, one of the reasons why they're against it. They said it would be much better if the state just hired exterminators to come into neighborhoods down there and spray the whole neighborhood and the whole towns with fucking pesticide, a known poison. Their thinking is a pesticide is poison, but at least it's natural. We don't know about these GMO mosquitoes. We don't know anything about them. Sure, we can go read scientific papers and read the studies they did and all the planning that went into this, all the trials and that they performed to make sure it was going to be safe. We can do all that, but no, they heard the word genetically modified and they fucking freaked out. So they'd rather have people spraying poison in their homes, around their homes, in front of their kids, in front of their pets, to just kill any mosquito, but not just any mosquitoes, also other bugs that are vital to the whole nature of cycle thing down there. You don't want to kill all the bugs. You don't want to kill the bees. Nobody wants to kill the bees, man. They become heroes in the last couple of years. Like nobody gave a shit about bees until the last couple of years when somebody said, well, if the bees die, this is what's going to happen. Now everybody's like, oh, shit, bees are good. But they want to come in with pesticides, just kill the mosquitoes, and yeah, it'll kill other things. Maybe my kids will get cancer and grow a big head. I don't know. Maybe my dog will have two tails it can wag when I'm trying to pet it. Or because it's Florida, maybe fuck it. Whatever they do. But it's a weird situation, man. Like, the scientists are saying, listen, we're going to reduce the type of disease-carrying mosquitoes by up to 95% if you let us do this. And they're like, no poisonous pesticide. Because science, hard. Me no likey the science. Big word, mean, bad. Oh, man. It's kind of crazy, but, a lot of conspiracy theorists down in Florida, and it's not hard to see why. It's like, listen, man, scientists are our friends, and I know this for a fact, because the same people that are complaining are doing it in kind of the same way you're listening or watching to this. Listen, man, I'm talking into an object that is projecting my voice through a wire into a mini computer that fits in my pocket, my smartphone. That, at the touch of a button, I can have access to any information in the world I fucking want. And you're listening to it via a transmission from satellites that are floating around above our Earth, beaming down to towers we have here on Earth, and then given your way, flowing your way. All of that. People don't seem to realize that technology is fucking science. It is. People always separate it, like they think science is just like, oh, studying the moon, studying Mars, and medicines and diseases and cures. Technology takes a shitload of science. And for you to be listening to or watching this requires more science than you can imagine. You pick up your phone, you turn it on, you start scrolling, you hit the Facebook, you hit the Twitter, you hit the Pornhub, without even thinking like, oh, how does this happen? What is the process behind this? How is this even possible with the internet and instant communication around the world? And hey, man, a lot of math and a lot of fucking science. So you don't want to trust our scientists, that's fine. But listen, before we knew about genetically modified things like these mosquitoes, guess where your pesticides came from? The ones that are going to kill you. It was based on the science we had at the time, not knowing, without any tests on humans, by the way, which these mosquitoes have had. They are not harmful. And only the females, remember, only the females are the ones that carry the disease. But they didn't do any testing back in the 40s, 50s, 30s, They didn't have the technology or the wherewithal, another old person word, to do the testing to see what the effect would be on humans. And yet, people don't take the vaccine because it's I don't know what the effects are going to be. But yeah, let's spray pesticides around my kids and animals and around my house, even though the effects have already been proven sometimes fatal. But a mosquito? Oh, no, sir. We don't believe your science junk. You're not fooling anybody, mister. Oh, it's crazy. But that's what I wanted to say about that. Listen, this is our first day officially out of lockdown in the town I live in Cambodia called Siem Reap. Myself and Sang Lai. Say hello, Sang Lai.
Hello.
Louder.
Hello.
Hopefully you heard her. But we went for a little walk today for the first time in 2 weeks. And I got to tell you, man, I'm used to walking around here. I walk everywhere. You can check out my other channel, Dave Does Cambodia. The link for that is listed down below if you're watching the video. And that's my main channel, my monetized channel. But yeah, and I walk around here all the time. I can't even begin to tell you how many miles I've walked since I've been here in 3 years. I started like on day one. I never walked when I was back in the United States. Never. I drove everywhere. If I couldn't drive or take a cab or grab a ride from somebody else, I didn't go. No, I didn't care. But here is mainly, we do have a little 50cc scooter we ride around on, but my main transportation is my feet and my legs. So we like to walk around. At least I do. Single hates it, but I love to walk around. That's where you get the best videos. That's where you see the cool stuff. You see something happen, you're riding a motorbike or you're in a car or something, and you might pass by things. You're going by too fast. You can't check them out. If I'm walking and I see something cool down an alley, I'm going down the alley. That's the way I roll. And I found some of the best shit here just by being out, not even looking for it, just walking around. But I was winded, I got to tell you. We only walked for maybe 16 minutes. And I was making my video, and I noticed I was starting to breathe a little heavy. And I was like, wow, even 2 weeks just sitting in here without doing anything, without walking, without any of that. And whew, it has an effect on you, man. But we're out of lockdown. We're doing good. Everything's fine. We have food. We can go get food anytime. There's still a curfew from 8 a.m. to 5, or 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., and there's still a ban on alcohol. You can't buy beer. You can't buy tequila. You can't buy whiskey. It's the law. Don't break the law. Anyway, be sure to check out all my links down below if you want to donate. Am I begging? Maybe. But I'm saying please. There's a link down below if you're watching the video to my PayPal. It's all appreciated, and I'll send you a copy of my book if you do that. That's right. I'll have your email address. I'll send you a PDF copy of my book, and you'll be happy with it. It's my way of saying thank you. Also down below, like I said, my other YouTube channel is down there. Check that out. A live show app is down there. I'm telling you, it's free. It's worth it. Download it. Start watching some of these comedians. They are awesome. I'm going to be up there soon. I know I always say that, but the times they do it back in the United States are just not good for me here in Cambodia. There's a 12-hour difference. But I'll get on there. But in the meantime, watch all these other guys. They're great. They're fantastic. The app is absolutely free. You don't have to sign up to be a performer if you don't want to. You can just listen. But if you do want to perform, you can do that too. 3-minute sets, 3 times a day. Fantastic. And also my Twitter's down below. Go ahead and join me on the Twitters. Go ahead. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it for me. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. And don't mistake Preparation H for toothpaste. Yes.